Could you, Brian, tell us a little bit more about the importance of start-up costs and start-up planning?
The most important part of starting up a business is to understand your cost base and therefore put together a proper financial plan that doesn't in any way skimp on the underlying costs, because starting up a business is going to be costly. Not only is it going to be costly, but it's probably going to be more costly than you anticipated, because things will take longer. All those things that you thought were that you were going to be able to buy on the cheap suddenly become more expensive. So when you put together a startup plan, the biggest element of costs should be a contingency reserve. Right. And that contingency reserve should be in there because you will inevitably be hit by what we call pests: political, economic, technological, and social factors, and to some extent legal factors as well, that you just never anticipated. For example, when we started up Welsh Whisky, we thought one of the main ways of developing a good cash flow was to develop an initial brand of vodka and gin that we could actually sell very quickly, because you don't have to lay vodka and gin down for many years like you do with whiskey. We could produce vodka and gin very quickly in our still. So we went for that because we thought we could then market that vodka and gin in the off license. No, well, not certainly the off license, but the duty-free market, the duty-free market in Europe. And we thought, going across the Irish ferries and going into Europe. So we developed a huge marketing plan for those vodka and gin new products. As soon as we brought them to market, Europe abolished all duty-free expenditures in Europe. So suddenly we had everything in place, and suddenly that whole business plan just unraveled before our eyes. So how did we respond? We responded by trying to get new investors in to make up the big loss now that we were then suffering. So eventually, through a series of pests like that, I went from owning 33 1/3% of Penderyn whiskey to owning probably today 3%.